and sing it one and all. Join in the chorus, North Melbourne's on the ball. Good old North Melbourne, they're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team that plays to win for you and me.
Welcome back, Shimbonas. On today's pod, we'll be reviewing yesterday's close comeback, but just fell short against the Saints. We'll have all our usual segments, including game review, the Basty, which is heating right up, the watch list. We'll briefly cover the VFL and AFLW, and back by popular demand, we've got the People's Pod. Spending a lot more time answering your questions as we did on our previous review. All that and more. Once again, to join me and break it all down, the Big Chief. Chief, how are we?
Yeah, pretty good. Welcome to you, Baz. Good intro. And now let's get straight into it. What's your biggest takeaway?
Well, my biggest takeaway is something that, in the last few pods, I've been pretty happy to pat myself on the back and say I got that one right. E.g. Chom is the defender and a few other calls. But I'm doing it again. As I've been saying, Harry Sheezel is a midfielder. Now, he spent a lot more time in the midfield yesterday, and it was his highest rated game in 400 days.
His best game of the year.
Oh, easily. He was fantastic, and this is what happens. Don't be fluffing him around at half forward. Play him in the midfield where he belongs, and he was electric yesterday. He was back to his best. He set the tone in that first quarter, and for a lot of the game, it was really the Harry versus the Naz show.
Yeah, well, do you know why he's better in the midfield than half forward? Well, I still reckon he's a half forward / midfielder.
Oh, I disagree.
Saying, yeah, okay, I'm going to tell you why. Because we can't get it inside 50 so he can be a forward. We got flogged in the inside 50s again.
Well, that's a good point. What's your biggest takeaway?
Look, there's improvement there, but I'm still not satisfied. That's a very winnable game, and we had more than enough chances despite the lack of inside 50s. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy with our ball handling skills. But, yeah, I'm beyond. I don't want to just be competitive against sides outside the 8. I want to win them.
Exactly. And it's our 5th loss by under 10 points this year. So just goes to show that it's going to be hard to assess at the end of the year in terms of if or how much percentage we've improved. But you just got to split those, don't you? If we win 2 of those 5 and we're sitting at 6.5 wins, it looks a lot better than what we're currently at. But
we could only be 1 win. We've won some close ones. It's only really the Melbourne game where we blew them away in the first 8 minutes of the last quarter. It's the only game we've won comfortably.
Yeah, well,
I mean, Carlton we should have. Carlton should have been a percentage booster, but we tried our best to lose that. But it's still an improvement. Don't be lost in the fact we have improved.
Agreed. But it's not to the level that a lot of supporters, us included, were anticipating coming into the season. All right, let's get into the match notes. And, of course, the final score, we went down by 9 points, although it was basically 3. A stupid 50 at the end, where Colby obviously told the umpire where to go.
Was it that, or was it because Chom kicked the ball away?
Oh, probably Chom. I didn't see that, so...
Yeah, I didn't notice it live, but I did watch the last 2 minutes again, and you can see he kicked the ball away, like just along the ground. Obviously, as we know, you've got to get it straight back to them. Well, it made no difference. I'm still calling it a 3-point loss, even though in the record books it'll say a 9-point loss.
Right, so the match notes we'll quickly go through. We won't spend as much detail as we usually do, but there's some talking points. We've spoken about Sheezel's first quarter. He was awesome. LDU back to his best as well. There was a great 2-on-1 that Zurhar won. Got into LDU. The ball was touched. The mark was paid though, but he just went and kicked a great goal on his left foot around the corner.
Yep. I thought he was pretty good, LDU. Wasn't at his brilliant best, but he was better than serviceable.
We're all over the Saints, but just simple skill errors, which seems to be a constant theme week in, week out, really hurt us. That one handball that misses, or the little fumble when we're out, it's so costly. And someone who I thought 100% effort and about 20% skill in that first quarter was George Wardlaw. I mean, he was everywhere, but his ball use let him down early, but he was getting plenty of it in that first quarter.
Yeah, I've written him first quarter notes, just George. He was awesome. I think you just get that with George. He's just ballistic. So you can't be ballistic and silk or precision, can you? Well, I suppose the very best players can, but he's not there yet. But
But we've seen him do it though. That's the thing. Like last year, he had about an 8 to 10 week stretch where he was hard and pretty skillful.
Yep. All right. Okay. I was pretty impressed with Daniel in the first quarter.
Agreed.
I thought he took more the 45 kick, and his kicks were a lot quicker and lower and faster to the target, which he hit. And I thought he's just being a lot more aggressive, and I liked it.
One thing you could definitely see was there was a directive to be more corridor focused. We took it on through the corridor a lot more.
Corridor on 45 we used pretty well. And as a negative for the first quarter, I've written we just don't punish them enough off turnover, because we did, apart from the first goal they got where we were too assertive again, I thought we turned the ball over pretty well, but then just cost ourselves with the finishing.
Yep, and I'll tell you that segues well into my next point that I want to raise. People have probably come at me and said I've been a little bit harsh on Jacob Constanti. When you're only getting one shot, you've got to kick it.
Yeah.
And again, he's missed 40 metres out. We need to convert those. And another game where I thought he was pretty non-existent, and Geordie Payne's kicked 6 in the twos, just to forecast a bit later on. But a simple change just has to happen now.
Oh, I think so. Did he miss a field kick as well? I can't remember.
No, I don't think so.
That's not his best area. His disposal, and he's good at the hassling and the pressure. But I think he only had 3 or 4 tackles for the game too, so that was probably down a bit. But once again, it is hard when we're lacking inside 50s.
Agreed. One last point I want to touch on that might have gone under the radar. It was only because I was paying close attention to it, but I thought Jack Darling, his body work in the ruck, particularly against Rowan Marshall, was really good. Marshall didn't want a bar of it. I thought he was actually beating him when he was going against Marshall in the ruck. He was hitting him early, and then Marshall was sort of trying to create that space because he didn't want to go against the gigantic shoulders.
Yes.
And I thought he competed really well, as he has all year in the ruck. JD?
He competed really well. Got a few of those X-type, just grab it out and move it forward. Particularly forward to centre in our forward 50. Anyway, are we going quarter by quarter, or are you just doing general?
Oh, let's just do general.
Okay, you go.
Well,
or do you want me to go?
We'll just blend it all into one because the skills were horrible.
Well, can I just talk on the second quarter? We got stuck after praising Daniel and others for the ball movement, looking for the corridor, quick penetrating kicks, hitting targets. We went back into our shell, particularly from kick-outs. We could not get it. If we got it outside 50, it came straight back, which is part of the reasons they had so many more inside 50s than us. We just kept going to the right pocket, as you look at it on the TV, or the outer flank, and we just could not get it back in. We tried the same thing over and over, and it just ends up in a long dump kick. We're not represented well with tools. All our players are still in their chest positions on the flank, on the boundary side. St Kilda are guarding corridor side of their opponent. They just get an easy either market or a stoppage. They were getting the crumbs, or not a stoppage, a spillage from a contest. Or we kick it out in the full when we had to go ultra aggressive and try and pin the boundary. And it was so frustrating. And there was one prime example where young Foss got himself free. This is from a kick out, about 35 out in the corridor. And can't remember who took the kick out, so I'm not going to pin anyone.
I remember. It was CD.
I thought it was, but I didn't want to pin him without being 100%. But okay, so Daniel looked at him, but then still went wide to his favourite pocket, wide and short. And Foss threw his hands up and like, what are you doing, man? And that's what they've got to do, because then Foss has the whole field open. There's space for players to run into. We can be aggressive, which we did in the first quarter, and I don't know why we went back into our shells, but that cost us the game, that second quarter.
Well, my hot take to you yesterday was that these young kids that come in, they play with flair because they're used to winning.
Yes.
These other senior players have become so entrenched in losing and playing safe football that they're not taking that option. Because when we look the best is when Foss has the ball, Colby has the ball.
Yep.
Harry, well, he's been at times this year taking the safe option as well, not playing with the same flair, but he was yesterday. He was back to his little flick handballs and just general brilliance.
Yep. Our best team goal was in the third quarter where Parker got it got it to Pow, a young player, took I think a contested mark in the corridor. Then he got it to Zane, and Zane just went straight away with a handball to Colby, who had a bounce, ran through the 50 and drilled it. And that was the most exciting and best team goal we had.
This year, I'd nearly say.
Well, yeah, and they're the young, apart from Parker, they're all young fellas who are willing to take it on, move the ball quick, and we've been screaming all year.
Well, I want to talk...
Sometimes you can't, because it's like a couple of times Larkey got it around the centre square area and he held it up, because clearly they had 2 or 3 back waiting. But if you've got a runner like Colby, he'll take them on.
Yeah.
And if he can get to the 50, he'll, more often than not, on the run, drill it.
He's a great finish. I think he's kicked 12-1 this year.
Yeah, and the one out in the full from his set shot, which surprised us.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, anyway, on the run, he's obviously a lot more comfortable.
But we're not saying that you have to go every time, but there's got to be more aggressive ball movement throughout stages of the game. There's quite often we're just too content taking the kick to a contest when we've got no big pack markers.
Well,
really.
It hasn't worked for us all year.
No.
So if it's a 50-50, you've got to take it on. Even if it's a 60 don't, 40 do, take it on, because it's not working. But obviously there are times where you just can't. You've got to hold up. But we look best when we had that free-flowing football going.
One person you mentioned before, I want to touch on his game just quickly, and that's Tom Powell. Someone who's become a bit of a whipping boy for fans, which I think's a little bit unfair. I did say, though, a couple of weeks ago that he was on watch to join the watch list.
You created a sub-list.
I did, but I liked his game yesterday. A lot of time on the wing, some time at half back. I think that's a great position for him, because in the midfield, when it's hot in the kitchen, he tends to dump kick a little bit too much. But I think when he has time, he's a great handballer and he's a great kick. Yep. So I like the move to him off half-back. It also frees up Foss to play in the middle and Harry, more centre bounces for them. But the big thing with Tommy yesterday that I noticed, I thought he was really good defensively. And he's actually leading the club in tackles this year. So bit of a tick to him for that in what has been identified as a bit of a weakness for him. But I was just really happy with his game yesterday and really safe. I think he went at 85% disposal efficiency in the end or something.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So, big tick to him.
Yeah, all right. Just to finish off match notes that I've got. Our assertive defence was caught out at times, and I think we need smarter defenders who can read the play quicker. So they know when to be assertive and when, they're coming through with no pressure, let's go and find our man. They've just got to do it a second or two quicker. And that's just reading the play. But hopefully they'll get better as they get used to it. But it does catch us out, and it costs us the game because 2 or 3 goals, easy goals to them.
They kicked 6 in the third, which is just ridiculous to concede to that forward line.
But when it works, we can turn it over, and that's obviously the plan is to turn it over. But you've just got to be quicker at reading whether it's time to be assertive or time to man up.
I've got one before you go. The umpires. We usually don't talk too much, but they were horrific yesterday. That 50-metre penalty, who got tackled? Was it Zerha? Someone got tackled.
No, LDU from a kick out.
No 50.
That was about that. Well, that's when we couldn't get it out in the second quarter, and we actually used the corridor, found him, and he was tackled after he marked it, which normally is a 50. And
then there was another one, Cooper Harvey tackled someone.
I think it was the Viking. Taru marked it, and he sort of dragged him to ground, and it was in the same passage of play. It was one after the other.
And then in the third quarter, the advantage rule. It needs that Greg Swan had to fix that because everyone had stopped and 10 seconds had gone by, and then the St Kilda player starts running and they call advantage.
Now, I was watching that. I haven't seen it again. I only watched the game once, and that'll be enough for me. But he kicked it out of the ruck, and obviously got a free kick for a hold. It went 25 metres to the wing, and I think the North player, I can't remember who it was right there amongst the 2 St Kildas, and then he heard the whistle and slowed down.
I think it was Dill Stevens.
You can't do that. I know they say play the whistle, but they always play advantage. Just go and get the ball, or be right with the St Kilda bloke if he beats you, so you can tackle him and make it go back. You can't. You're taught to play the whistle, but the advantage is so loose the way it's interpreted, you've got to keep playing until the second and third whistle come.
And there was lots of bad decisions.
Because they got a goal out of that.
Yeah.
Daniel was called out,
on
one
Burns, I think.
Wouldn't matter who he was on. He's 15 centimetres shorter than him.
And then the Mason Wood one's the third one that I've identified out of a lot that were wrong, but he drops the mark, gets paid and kicks a goal.
Yeah, that wasn't a mark.
No,
Anyway.
ridiculous.
But the problem is where we are. Even the good umpire... Well, it's a hard, tough task umpiring AFL. There's so many 50-50s and grey areas, so I concede that. But when you're a bottom team playing another bottom team on a Sunday, you're not getting the pick of the crop.
No.
So, you got bad teams playing and the worst umpire, not the pick of the crop of the umpires umpiring. Anyway, we'll move on from the umps.
Another positive from me, that what I saw in that last quarter with the comeback that we never gave up. Clarko on the bench, love that. Keep that happening for the rest of the season.
We said that in our group chat to the Frog, I think. Look out.
Yeah, I was thinking, here
Clarko's
comes...
going to get suspended for sure when we saw him on the bench to start the game.
Mrs. Clarkson sitting there getting the bank transfer ready when he gets fined.
We'll get to more about that in his presser, but anyway, keep going.
Yes, but what we saw was the drive was from the youngsters. Like Colby McKercher, he had an enormous game. In that last quarter, he was running, carrying... His ball use inside 50, particularly that one to George Wardlaw that set up that goal. He was amazing.
Yeah, and they're all under pressure. They got the assertive defence they're implying coming into his face. He'll just either get round them or his kicks are good enough to get over the top or round the side.
But it was the youngsters.
He was awesome. And if you look at what everyone threw at Dan Houston, who would you rather playing for? Colby off half-back or Houston off half-back?
Houston's talking about being dropped.
I know. And look what they had to give up for him, let alone the cash. And he's a dual All-Australian, but they don't talk about Colby. If Colby was doing that for Collingwood, he'd be up there in the Dacos area being spoken about.
Absolutely would be.
But he's lost on a Sunday afternoon in a game no one watches.
Yeah. LDU had a great kick to Jack Darling as well in the lead, and I think LDU's use was really good yesterday. He can be a bit of a long bomber, but I think he lowered his vision and was pretty good by foot as well. But Nick Larkey kicked 3 goals. We haven't really spoken about him.
Well, I've got him written down. Silver's back. He was good.
His goal kicking was really good too.
We didn't miss.
Yeah.
And that long one from just inside the 50 on the angle. Beautiful. That's what we want. I've got a couple of other notes we'll go through. Cam and PC. What were they thinking? Your man Cam trying to take Marshall's head off with a bump. I mean, that's just three to 6 weeks waiting to happen.
Yeah, that's 6. If he knocks him out, that's 6.
Just silly. I know you got to be aggressive, but get him in the ribs.
Hang on, did you see what John? You wouldn't have seen this, but for our listeners out there, John Ralph has posted on X. He expects Tom Stewart, who did something worse, to get a fine and Zerha to get matches. There you go.
Yeah,
and PC to get 2.
Don't get me. You're going to get me worked up.
We'll deal with that when it comes.
PC, again, a bit of a jumper punch that got him a bit hot, got him in the throat instead of the chest. So, we seem to be the club they make examples out of. And as you just said with Stewart and the bigger clubs, it's nothing to see here. But didn't they carry on the coverage?
Oh, it was ridiculous.
He can't breathe, he's on the bench. He started on the bench. They all start for 5 or 6 minutes on the bench. Yeah. He's been on the bench for 7 minutes.
He's still there. 2 minutes into the second quarter, he's still there.
They're showing him, and look at his throat, and he's rubbing his knee because he had a bit of a graze on his knee. It's one day blame that on us as well. Horrendous. And
hang on, breaking news, keep going.
Okay, well, another thing, Chom gave away too many free kicks playing fullback, where he played really well in the last quarter and he's played his best football down back. He gave away way too many free kicks. And my last one is, the Saints were there for the taking. They didn't have King. I know they haven't had him all year, but still, he's a bit like us not having Larkey. And Owens went off early in the third.
Yeah.
So they had no tall forwards, really, other than Sharman.
You ready for Baz's breaking news?
And Big Keith, who was on him.
Heath.
Oh, Heath, sorry. John was on him. Yeah. He gave him too many free kicks.
North Melbourne forward Paul Curtis is facing a 1-match ban.
Yeah,
there you go.
I think that's... I thought he was going straight to the tribunal, but it's via the MRO. He just reported him, so that means the MRO looks at it.
So it's graded as intentional, low and high. Well,
low impact.
You're not getting off that.
No, look, If the North Boys, here you go. If the North Boys can get him off that, they won't be. They'll still be on the list, but I'll etch out the engraving. But there's no way. I think he's one of my favourites, but I think that's a fair result.
Yeah, but it's the frustrating thing is, I agree, but the frustrating thing is, if it was Cripps or Dacos or something, it's a fine.
Well, there's one last year, but it wasn't in the throat; it was in the stomach, and was it Shearer on Lockie Neal? And not even did he get a fine? He certainly didn't get a suspension, and that was I'd suggest more force than what PC hit him, but PC got him high in the throat, so that's what gets him a suspension rather than a fine.
Well, there was nothing about Zerha on there, so I assume that's been thrown out,
Yeah,
which is good.
Which surprises me.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm glad.
so am I.
Because we can't rely on our lawyers to do anything.
No, exactly. Right. Any other notes from you before we get to our award?
No, let me throw to the most prestigious award in all of the AFL, the Basty.
Right. So if there's any new listeners, it's named the Basty after former Shimona Ryan Bastanak, who was our first guest on the pod 126 episodes ago, Chief.
Wow. So episode what?
7.
Episode 7.
Right, so I'll go first. I'll take the new ball. Actually, we'll go together because we've got basically the same.
Well,
so.
I think the 5 was a lock.
Yeah, so we both gave 5 to Colby McCurdy.
Yeah, and there was no Tassie bias.
No.
Yeah,
no
if
bias
you don't
whatsoever.
think he didn't play the most electrifying game, there were 2 electrifying players on the field, and we had one of them, thank goodness. The other one obviously was Naz.
He was awesome. I've been saying this for weeks, but we don't look like scoring unless he has the ball in his hands.
No, and even though Daniel started off more aggressive, which I liked, he sort of went back into his shell a bit, didn't he?
He hit a nice kick with sidetrack. We'll get to Daniel.
Yeah, okay, sorry. But Colby, awesome. I don't know. He got his stats. We don't need his stats.
He had
36. He would have had over 500 or 600 metres gained. Like, ball use was really good.
And we don't look at the stats either.
No,
we just go
off feel. That's all off feel. We might look at the stats when we talk about it now, but when we do our voting, we don't look at the stats.
Exactly. 4 votes we both gave to Harry. Any other game and he gets 10.
Yep.
The combined 10, but just the combined 8 for him. But he was back to his brilliant best. 33 in the goal. Looks like he's moving a little bit better. I definitely reckon that it'll come out that he's played with some sort of... There's talks of ankle injuries.
Yep.
That he's definitely not moved as well. I mean, he's not fast anyway, but he's looked like he's 35.
Yeah, but his ball use was better and it was more aggressive and it was back to the old Harry.
For these next 2 players, I gave 1-3, you gave 1-2, and then vice versa. So they got a combined 5 votes each. So I gave 3 to Toby Pink, and you gave him 2 votes. So
yes.
Pinky, I thought his intercepting was really good. He was one who did judge well when to come off. And I thought he really held up the back line. He's done the opposite of what North usually do. Usually someone announces a contract and they regress, but he played a lot better after announcing his 1-year extension. So big tick to him. And then the other man...
I liked Pink's game because I thought he was by far our best tall defender.
Yeah.
And I feel safe when it's kicked to him in a 1-on-1, and if he's got prime position, he will take a clean mark. Like, he won't get outmarked when he should mark it, and it's a clunk. It's a one grabber. Whereas I don't want to pot Cal Dawson, but when he's in the same position and they're fighting for the same position at the start of the year, he'd double grab it or even worse, drop it. Whereas I feel pretty safe with Toby. We saw him do it really well against Curnow, and he reads the play well.
He does.
Like, he reads the ball in flight well.
So I gave 2 votes. You gave 3 votes to Nick Larkey. Back again, competed really well. Don't think he got outmarked.
Yeah, it was a less than 10 possession game, but he kicked 3.
Yeah, not a midfielder's award.
It's not a midfielder's award, and our whole setup forward looked much better. I mean, I thought your man, the Bull, was good. My man, the PC, I know you like him as well. He had a quieter game.
He had a shocker.
Yeah.
Well, it's no yourself, Butsy. He was terrible.
Okay.
And we haven't even spoken about... I'll talk about him later.
So, I thought Larky was good and finished all his work as he should.
I like it. The 1 votes are different for us, so I'll go first. I gave 1 vote to Tommy Powell. I won't elaborate too much. I've spoken previously about what I enjoyed about his game, so he gets the 1 vote from me.
Yeah, I gave it to CD, mini helmet, Caleb Daniel. As I said in the first quarter, I thought his ball use was a lot more exciting, took it on more. And he probably, on his first quarter, he would have been top 3. But then he slid back to a couple of old habits. But overall, I thought he was still good.
Now, I wanted to speak a bit earlier.
And we've gone hard on him. And to be fair, you've got to reward him when he does what you want him to do, which he did for at least half the game. And that last ball use into the 50, which was that Cam's shot?
Yes, that's where I was going.
Yeah, okay.
But he was probably next in line for me, so he was pretty unlucky.
Yeah, I've got a couple of unluckies. I think LDU, wasn't his best game ever, but I thought he, at different stages, was very good. I also had Powell. Cam Zerha, thought tried really hard, got a couple of goals, didn't he?
Kicked 2-3.
Yeah, so if he kicked 4-1, he'd have probably been right up the pointy end. And I thought Dill Stevens, we've been hard on him, but he had 20 possessions.
Second half.
His second half, in that last quarter when the game was there, he took some really aggressive and he got back to help in the back line, took some aggressive kicks, got in the chain, linked up a couple of times, and gave us the run we needed desperately at that time, because we can't just rely on Colby to do everything.
Exactly. And we haven't even spoken about the final play, where we stuffed it up inside 50, where Darling had it. Oh, that just sums up our season. Nothing goes right.
Yeah. I thought all day the ball didn't bounce our way a lot. Like, if a loose ball, you expect 50-50s, it didn't seem to go our way as much as it did their way, and that's just the oval-shaped ball.
Yep, agreed. Let's have a look at the leaderboard, where it's getting tight. 3 games to go after this week. In 5th place, we've got a tie between Luke Parker and Nick Larkey on 39 votes. In 4th place, LDU on 41. In 3rd place, last year's winner, Harry Sheasel on 57 votes. And it's getting tight at the top. So Colby's coming. He's on 70 in 2nd place. And the man in 1st place, who'll be back this week, the big X-Man, 8 votes ahead on 78. And if you have anything to do with it, he'll win.
He'll get 5 next week from me.
No matter what he does.
But only 8 votes. You wouldn't have picked that before he got suspended. I mean, he'd have had it wrapped up by now if he hadn't been suspended. And how much did we miss him? I mean, we praised Darling for some of his work, but Marshall took 2 contested marks in that last half of the last quarter when we were really coming on Darling, and there's no way he's getting them on X. And Darling's 11, 12 centimetres shorter than him, so it's not a knock on Darling. And they kicked it well enough to Marshall's advantage, just high, so he could use his height, and he'd have equal weight or better weight than Darling. So, having said that, our man Tess took a couple of nice contested grabs on the wing in the last quarter as well. But I don't think that was more a loose.
Thanks for your service.
All right, yeah, well, okay.
He's done. But yeah, he did.
I'd like to keep it balanced in the pod and just give him a bit of a shout out.
Yeah, and
but I think
I'm taking it down because I want to talk about PC. He's got to stop trying to kick it off the ground. He did a couple of things where he just wasn't composed enough, that he sort of panicked, particularly in that last quarter.
Yeah, trying to kick the miracle goal.
What are you doing? Pick it up. There was one earlier in the game too.
Yeah.
Where he could have just picked it up and he tried. I think he fresh aired it or...
Yep.
Just got to be better.
And in a 3-point game, because I'm still calling it a 3-point game, because it basically was until after the siren, that's the difference, isn't it? A bit of composure. Do we have 2 posters? I know Cam hit the post once, but they missed some gettable shots too, to be fair. They missed shots you'd expect them to kick.
Yep.
But I don't care about them, it's about us.
Exactly.
And if the shots, if it's there to get the goal, we've got to make sure we get the goal.
Right, next...
And we haven't spoken about... I mean, I don't want to... He's a young player, but Cooper Harvey dropping that easy handball receive, running through the midfield. And I'd like to... They swapped Coop and Big Game Zane when Larkey went off. And Coop, he took some aggressive kicks out of the back line and presented in the corridor and was strong. And I thought he looked really good there when we were coming off half-back. Except for that one where he dropped the biggest pud of a handball receive ever. And it made me think of other people who have done that. And I'm going back to a great Shimona. And we were at the game. We played Hawthorn in about the mid to early 2010s. And we were coming at the Hawks. round about the half-forward line, Spitter, Andrew Swallow, the captain, had a handball receive and just spilled it everywhere at half-forward, and they cleaned it up, and they ended up winning by less than 10 points, I can't remember, and that killed us because we were coming, and that would have been an easy lace out. And probably the biggest one, and you should remember this, it was a big final over the West.
Oh.
Preliminary final time. We were all over West Coast, and I don't know who handballed it to him, but the big galloping baby giraffe on roller skates in one of his first seasons, so let's not be too hard, but Tassie's own Ben Brown got the handball received, running into an open goal, and just spilled it.
He had a shocker that day.
So
Jared Wellingham.
Yeah, that's right. So Coop, you're not the only one, but it bloody hurts.
It does.
And it's basic skill errors, but I suppose everyone who's played football has done them at some stage, but we just seem to do too often.
Right, let's get to the next segment, the True Shimona Award.
This is easy for me. This is easy. Zach Banch.
Oh, what an effort that was.
Back with the flight. Knew the contact was coming.
I saw someone post it.
He's the smallest man on the field.
I saw someone post it, it made me laugh, that if he didn't mark it, he probably gets 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, probably. Well, he would. Wouldn't be the Security bloke, because it's the bloke in the blue and white stripes.
No, I'm talking about Banch. That he'd probably get 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know, because if it's 50-50, they're going to ping our bloke for doing it. But that was fantastic. Took the mark too.
Brilliant.
So he's our true Shimona of the week.
Right, let's get to the list you don't want to be on, the watch list.
Right, Bailey Scott's on the watch list. Obviously played VFL. Now, the VFL overlapped badly with the AFL, so I did not watch any of the VFL. But I have gone through the stats, and I did watch the highlights. And the highlights, just a bit of a tease, Geordie Payne kicked 6 goals in the VFL. Well, on the highlights, he kicked 1. You think if he kicked 6, you get a couple in there, wouldn't you?
No, that's bullshit.
You'd look at least half. Anyway.
Turn it up, whoever's done that.
Bailey Scott played well from his disposal. He's kicked the first goal. That was on the highlights. Our first goal. And what did he have? He got his stats?
He had 24, so that's pretty solid.
Well, that's pretty solid.
So he had about 6 last week.
Yeah, so anyway, you can't get off by playing well in the reserves. You've got to get your way. You've got to play well in the reserves, come back into the seniors, and then play well. Griff Logue. Didn't look at his stats.
I don't care about his stats. He's a key defender. I don't think he was terrible.
No, but
he wasn't good, but he wasn't bad. I think he's a dash.
Yeah, Dash is probably slightly generous, but he wasn't horrendous. So, yes. Nick Larkey gets a tick, and guess what? He'll get his certificate in the mail because he's now off the watch list.
Hang on, before you continue, well done, Suv. And just a fun fact for the listeners, this year we could see Colby McKercher win the Ryan Bastanak Player of the Year award after being on the watch list earlier in the year, which would be the biggest turnaround in the history of the world.
Yes. And both vice captains played really well.
Agreed.
Who were acting captains in Larkey and Harry. Aidan Corr's still injured. He's on the watch list.
He's had a 1 to 2 week calf for about 6 weeks.
Oh, at least 6 weeks.
Yeah. Anyway.
The North Roys are engraved. They're never getting off.
Well, they might.
No, they're not.
You just said 20 minutes ago that if they get PC off, they'll be unengraved.
Yes, true. But
that's not happening.
They'll still be on there. That is not happening. That would be a miracle if they got him off, though.
Yeah.
Just strike someone in the throat. Anyway, who else is on there? Cal Dawson. I don't think he did much in the VFL. We'll get to that later.
No.
But Fisher's still on there.
Injured. Don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, don't know what happened. Clarko. Now, this is one we want to talk about.
He gets a big tick because he went off in his press conference. He mentioned at least 3 times about Larkey not getting the 50 metres when Caminiti drove him to the ground.
Struth.
And he said Struth twice. Yeah. I thought he was going to go fully off Stewart and stone the Flaming Crows.
Yeah. South Stewart.
And he gave he'd given an answer about how we've improved this year, and then some
Journo went a bit hard, which I don't mind.
Yeah, and then he said, I just answered that, mate, or something. Well, that was good.
And he seemed a bit depressed, sad, or depressed is not the right word, but he wasn't happy when he went in there. So frustrated, probably a better word. And yeah, when the journo tried to push him, he wasn't having any. And he had answered it just before, but the journo was trying to get out of him that we hadn't, 17th we hadn't improved enough.
I understand the question.
I understand the question, and I like the journo going a bit harder. But then Clarko came back just as hard. And then he got into the umpires on 3 times. So I hope he gets away with it.
Well, it did nothing last time.
Because
when he told him about PC, he still isn't getting any.
No, but the AFL will have a watch on it if they're actually watching his presses. They're probably not. So well done, Clarko, sticking up and having a bit of a dig at the umpires. And one of our questions, which I don't know if you got down there, is whether Clarko should be just pay the fine and absolutely tell them what we all think. Because Larkey should have got a 50. Yeah. And we've had those other softer 50s paid.
I reckon the members...
Or not paid to us, but paid to them. And it's just... Struth. Flame the bloody clothes.
I thought you had to drop the magic then. Yeah, I reckon the members would pay. I'd put in some money.
No, absolutely.
I'd give $20 if he...
I think Clarko's doing all right financially.
You know what, that's true.
He's on over $1 million a year. I think he can afford a 20,000 clip.
Right, who's next?
Caleb Daniel gets a tick. You don't get in the Basty votes and not get a tick. The selectors.
No, I'm getting across. You can't have a bloke be kicking 4 and 6 and everything and then playing a bloke who gets 4 touches and doesn't hit the scoreboard.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And Stevens, well, he gets a tick because he was almost in the votes and I thought he was good.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
he was a lot better than what he was on.
I mean, you got to be bad to get across. You got to be probably... Well, to get a dash is just mediocre. I thought he was
Didn't I add Constanti last week?
You did. JD. JD? What am I talking about? JK.
Poor Jack Darling with the drive-by. I thought he was serviceable.
Yeah.
Just on Darling, this might be a bit premature, but the last 2 weeks of the season, I'd be saying to him, go to Bali or something. I want to get Whitlock in for the future.
Well, I want to talk about Darling, because I don't think either of us thought he'd play every game. He's played every game so far, hasn't he? And he's exceeded my expectations, and I was fairly positive on him. You, on the other hand, didn't like the trade, which is fair. It's an opinion pod, and we don't always have to have the same opinion. That's why there's 2 of us. We're probably too akin as it is. But he's exceeded. But we've got to find a replacement next year. Forecasting, I don't want him playing this many games. I want someone leapfrogging him. And that's nothing against him, because he's doing a pretty good job, better than serviceable. But we've got to have someone from below come up and take his spot. Or recruit someone who can do it. Anyway, Sandy gets across.
Good.
Very good. He's not impacting the scoreboard enough, and I know he's there for his tackling, but I think he only had 4. He had minimal possessions. And we've got a bloke in the 2s, which Clarko was asked. They actually specifically mentioned his press of pain, and he said, we know what they're doing in the 2s. They don't, because he basically asked him, do we need to have a look at him? He goes, well, we look at him at training, we look at him in the VFL, but I think he kicked 10 goals in the last 2 weeks, and he's still having the tackles. He's still got the tackle pressure going up. He's pretty high disposals, like mid-teens.
He had 18 and kicked 6 goals.
Yeah, for a forward, a small forward pressure, and kick the goals. What? I mean, they'll feed the mill from Kilda. He couldn't match that, and he's an all-time great.
I just want to fire through a couple of others in the VFL just to wrap.
You didn't think I dropped that, did you? Sorry, I'll get you a bit wet there.
Taylor Goad had 32 hit-outs and 11 touches. Cooper Trembath, he might be a sneaky from late season debut. 2 goals, 2 from 13 touches. Matt Locke, 2 goals and 7 disposals.
Yeah, not high enough disposals, was it? But
the big Moose had kicked 1 goal, 3 from 7 marks and 10 touches, and then the ever consistent Charlie Lazaro 2.0, Willfield 22 touches, 9 tackles in the 2s.
He's a lot better than Charlie Lazaro.
He is. That was a bit disrespectful. I apologise. I love Will.
And I just to be fair, I thought that we're just talking the stats because I didn't watch the game. Both Dawsons, Young Stevens, Urquhart were all down on stats.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much game time they played, but you think both the Dawsons, being the keys, would have played pretty much all game.
Right. I'm dying to get to the list of questions. So you watched the
we got some?
AFLW pracky, so just fire through that quickly.
The AFLW. Well, let's bring the tone of the pod up because the girls are fantastic. I only watched from quarter time onwards, so the last 3 quarters, and Fredo put in the group chat, I don't think the girls are on today. Well, I got here and they kicked about 13 goals in a row. They kicked 15 in a row for the game. And the free-flowing handball receives, get working it from the inside to out, the overlap run. It was just fantastic. I don't want to say lesser lights, but probably our Tier 2 players really dominated. And I'm talking about Tripodi, Gatt, Craven, Bogue. We found one there. She'll replace Neve Martin, who was in and out of the side last year, as a taller, quick forward. Bresnahan was back to her best. Kim Rennie dominating the ruck, and they didn't have an established ruckman because theirs is injured. And a new player, Boyd, looked pretty solid in defence.
I've got some breaking news.
Oh.
Sorry. This is really bad news for North fans.
Oh, no.
I've just seen here that Nick Larkey has been ruled out for the remainder of the season after injuring himself against the Saints.
Oh,
that is just, we cannot catch a trick.
And we've had so long until this year where Larkey's just been a mainstay. He's been very blessed or lucky not getting injured. That's going to make it hard against Richmond, isn't it? It's going to make it hard against everyone, but Richmond's a game we really want to win. And I suppose Whitlock has to come in.
Yeah, I think
so. Who knows? Maybe a Trembath. They're going to have to reshape the forward line, especially PC's probably going to miss. They've got to bring Payne in. We've got to have someone kick goals now. We're going to miss 3 or 4 a week from Larkey. That's terrible news. Anyway, what was I up to? Boyd, a new player, looked pretty solid in defence. And we were missing Carney, O'Loughlin, Emma King, Sarah Wright, and Vicky, the brick wall. So they're all starters and probably arguably best 10 or 12 players. So
right.
There's a lot to be excited about with the girls, and if you're not on board with the girls, it's fantastic watching North win. I mean, you guys rock up super confident. They play an exciting brand of football. They're very skilled. They're very hard at it, and yeah, I love it. And they're not the undisputed defending world champions of the world for no reason.
Right, let's get into the listener questions. Thank you very much to everyone who has sent them in. We'll start on Facebook to change it up a little bit with Bo Hawkins, who, plenty of confidence here, says, best place in Lonnie for a victory dinner. I'm flying in and driving up after we beat Richmond.
Right, I've got a couple of thoughts. I think if you just want a basic pub meal...
Plough in.
Plough in, yep. If you want to go a little bit more upmarket, but not too flashy, you go to Roop and Hound down on the seaport. And if you want a really great steak, probably a little bit more expensive. But
bit? That's out of my budget.
Yeah, go to the Jailhouse Grill.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Black Cow.
Yeah, the Black Cow's way out of the budget. That's a special event type thing. That's where the high rollers who come to Lonnie go.
Yeah, not us.
Yeah, not us.
Prickly Cactus as well, if you like your Mexican food.
Yeah, Prickly Cactus is good.
Anyway, let's talk about some footy. Adam Monaloo says, how do you reckon Clarko is coping with coming from Hawthorn, the kings of the free kicks, to North, where players couldn't get a free kick if they were, I won't read out what he said, but yeah.
Gang tackled, I think it was.
Let's go with that. By the opposition.
Yeah, I don't know how he copes. He must think it's a different game. Because it was free kick Hawthorn, and it's never been really free kick North.
No, never.
So he must be bemused, and obviously he's getting frustrated because that's why in his presser Struth. Sowing the flaming chorus.
Right, we'll keep rolling through. Brad Russell, who says, thoughts on PC's centre bounce attendance. Cam was great but inaccurate. 5 Basty votes for Colby for how he played and also giving the ump a spray post-siren.
Yes, well, yeah.
I was surprised he hasn't been fined.
Yeah.
But just for PC's centre bounce attendance, this is what shits me. And this happened last year with Zerha as well. In there for one, centre bounce, clearance, goal.
Yeah, we've got the handball, because he can hold his space. He can hold the ball under him and not get buffeted off it. And got the handball out to LDU, hit a target, can't remember who it was, and goal. Simple game.
Simple game.
And we were being beaten in the ruck, weren't we?
Yeah.
Like Marshall was fairly dominant.
Dave Walland says Teakle was getting monstered by
There you go.
Marshall until the last quarter. Sherry would have been the difference. And
I
he said
agree.
at the game, the inconsistency in umpiring was awful.
Well, Sherry beats Marshall generally in the ruck. And then his follow-up work is unparalleled in the AFL. So they beat us in the centre bounce clearances, and we'd have turned that around. And if you'd have ever got a chance to scrag Wanganeen Millerer, he'd have definitely fallen on him.
Yeah.
And softened him up. But he probably couldn't have caught him, to be fair, but you never know.
Brett Hay, is it possible for the players to come back early and work on their skills? I know the AFLPA has mandatory time off, but we need so much fundamental skill training.
Yeah.
Well, I think you can do it as long as it's in groups of under 8 or something.
Yeah, so the players have to drive that, probably.
And you hope they...
I mean, look what... I don't know if anyone's familiar with Lockie Neal. Let's say you have 1,000 touches a day.
Yep.
So you can do it on your own. Just set something up and 1,000 of the ground ball get type things a day.
He's the cleanest player in the comp.
Well, that's why. Practice makes perfect.
Exactly. We'll keep rolling on through here. Mitch Lord, can you explain how the hell Larkey has his head jumped on no 50, yet Harvey gave away a much softer one earlier? Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Blue and white stripes. And I think that I can't explain it other than, I can't.
Oh, it is honestly ridiculous.
It's frustrating. It's so frustrating. All we want's a fair crack. It's all we want.
And there's another comment here about Clarko addressing the inconsistent umpiring. Well, I reckon he is behind the scenes, but he's definitely starting to voice it in the presser, as we mentioned. So,
yeah, no, I will say it is hard to umpire, but it shouldn't be hard to umpire consistently to the same and not worry about who's wearing what jumper, because that's how it appears, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just seems we get the bad rub every week. I mean, you can cop it a few weeks, but you should get the favourable rub.
And we need it, because we're shizing.
Yeah, but you should get the favourable sometimes. We don't ever seem to get it. And we'll call it. When we're watching a game, if we see something that should have been a free against us, we'll say, oh, gee, we're lucky there.
There was a couple yesterday.
Yeah, but anyway.
Matt O'Dwyer on Instagram. If we had put a hard tag on Nasiah Wanganeen Millerer, then we win, right? Oh, yeah, I think they nullified him well early, despite he was having a lot of disposal. But I just don't think...
I think he had about 30 at half-time, didn't he?
Yeah, but he had a lot in the back half. Like, he was taking kick-outs. I think in the second half he was getting more... Particularly in that third quarter when they got off the chain, he was getting more forward to centre, which is where he was hurting us. But I think... It's his spread from the contest. No one can go with him. Even Robbie Hanson Jr. came on as a sub. He couldn't keep up with him.
Yeah, I was disappointed with that.
Well, he can go to the twos next week for mine. He's not doing enough.
Yeah.
But, anyway. Rory RJ67. Are there any options to trade/delist some of our failed players, i.e. Logan Fisher? Yeah, well, you can. You just have to pay them out. But the problem with...
you got to pay the full price of it, and it comes under your salary cap.
It does.
But
the problem with Fisher and Logue is they're both out of contract at the end of 27. So they've got 2 years each.
Yeah.
So I've had a look at next year, and the only players would be that you'd even slightly consider would be Bailey Scott and maybe Aidan Core. But that'd be harsh on either of them, really.
Got to pay out for 1 year.
Yes, but you can do it. We've seen it in the past.
We did it with Pollock.
With Pollock.
Yep.
And I think the writing was on the wall for Slevo, but he retired, which might have been you're going to retire, one way or the other.
Yeah, when are they out of contract, the first two?
End of 27, Logan Fisher.
Yeah, so that's when Tassie comes in, so they'll probably get picked up by Tassie just to fill out their list with senior players. Mm. But yeah, for us, we've got to pay them. That's the only problem.
Matt Florence, are we not fit enough? Started well, but by the end we looked very tired, sore and flat-footed. I actually thought the opposite. I thought we were all over him in the last quarter.
23 points down at three-quarter time and came home. And I think if that game goes, or take away the 50 at the end, which wouldn't have been given if there was 2 minutes to go, would have let him have a shot from the pocket. Another 2 minutes, I think we win.
Yeah.
We were looking a lot better than they were.
Agreed. Bryce Kelly, he's got a conspiracy theory for you, Chief. Do you think that having Greg Swan as the new... What's his role?
No, head of football.
Head of footy, we'll say. Has allowed Clarko to go back to coaching on the bench and also in his presser be a bit more sharp and commenting about umpiring decisions. Hopefully we see Clarko off the chain a bit more.
You know the umpire's absolutely protected.
Yeah.
That's what worries me. There's nothing to stop him being on the boundary side. He wasn't very animated every time they cut to him. He was just sitting there.
He's relaxed.
He was relaxed, yeah. But it must be frustrating. We know it's frustrating for players. You're trying 100%, everyone is, and you get some shocking decision go against you. And I think Clarko was just disappointed. If Larkey gets to 50, we kick the goal, we probably win.
I've got more breaking news, and it's not good.
What?
Braden George needs shoulder surgery, so he'll be out for the remainder of the year as well. So,
the VFL are done.
Yeah.
Like they can't
They're
make
not
finals.
in the top 10 anyway.
No.
They lost to 20th on the weekend. That's how well they're flying. So, yeah, that's really disappointing.
Yeah.
Really disappointing.
Well, get him right for pre-season. Have his surgery, then he'll have to go on his holiday with his arm in a sling.
Yep. MNeil_18 on
No
X.
jumping on the bloody box doing the leg stuff.
Nah.
Where he broke his elbow.
Elbow, yeah. He or she, sorry, I don't know the gender of this person. Could we trade next year's first round for this year? Say somebody around the 7th or 8th to get back into this draft. Not sure what the club could do if we could get back in. Yeah,
You can.
I think it'd be definitely worth looking at. It depends on what they want to do and what changes there are in terms of father-son currency, because there's 2 next year for North, Aidan McCartney.
Well, if they nominate,
and
hopefully they do.
Sam Harris definitely will take it to the bank.
Yep.
But McCartney's tied up with the Sydney Academy.
Don't
Start me on that!
I'm doing a whole pot on that.
Yeah, and Cooper. Well, Hawthorn fans are going to go through it as well shortly.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we can still get both of those and then trade out our first rounder because it'll get swallowed up, then absolutely
you can trade 2 years in advance, but obviously the second year, which is 2027, will be even more heavily compromised than this one, because that's when Tassie are going to get 9 of the first 20 draft picks or whatever. The AFL haven't released exactly what it'll be, but it'll think of GWS and Gold Coast. The only thing is they will have to trade some of those out.
Yes.
But that'll be a rolling trade, not like what we had when we had to use them when we got Grifflow and Darcy Tucker. We had to use them that draft. Tassie can roll them over, which gives you a bit more bargaining power.
Agreed.
Because you haven't got a gun to your head saying you've got to get rid of them this draft.
Right, let's go to the next one from Chris Toast Project, who says, was trading down for Alex Taru the right idea? Now, I thought yesterday he played really well, but I'm bullish on how impressive Finn O'Sullivan is and how good he's going to be. And he's what we need. He's that grunt in the midfield to accompany George. I think Taru will be a gun, but I'm big on what Foss can achieve in the blue and white.
Yeah, no, love the Foss. We love him. He's a pod favourite.
He definitely is.
And Taru was good, but yeah.
Kanga says, how can we look so good taking the game on and still opt to play that chip kick shit? Oh, this is what frustrates me.
Yeah, exactly.
We're with you. We're with you, mate. It's really frustrating, and I don't know whether it's definitely a mixture of coaching and or confidence.
Yeah.
Players quite often, the Finn O'Sullivan one you mentioned before,
That was
lack of confidence.
That was so there to be hit.
That's taking the safe option, not wanting to.
And
make
from a
mistake.
kick out, it's not as if you're going up and back. After a kick out, they've had their 10 seconds or whatever to take a breath. So it's not as if you're up and down all the time. They should be fresh enough to take a bit more aggressive play.
Exactly.
And it's the only way you open the game up. We're not a long down the line team because we haven't got the contested marks. We can do it. We say to certain players that that's all they've got, and that's fine. What you're looking for there is a stoppage, aren't you? But as a means of getting it from end to end, that's not our go.
No. Next question here we've got from an opposition fan.
Oh,
he says, William Behag says, I'm a St Kilda man, but us smaller clubs have to keep at it. 32,000 there today was good. Both teams played a part. I'm sick of the media saying when X big club is up and about, it makes the competition better. Not true. When the likes of North and St Kilda are up, the comp thrives. I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
We've got to stick together, us and the Dogs and the Saints.
I'll tell you what.
There was a good crowd yesterday.
It was. And that's always their go-to. Because the AFL is so money hungry and wanting to expand and make ratings. Every year we have to have more viewers and everything. So what do? They put Essen on every Thursday, Friday night. How's that working out for them? Everyone will watch this Friday to see if Jezza can kick 25 in a game. That's the only interest in it. And I'd much rather, even as a neutral, to watch that North St Kilda game because you had good players on both sides. You didn't know who was going to win to the final siren. So, well done. And I wish our president would be more like the St Kilda president and go harder at this NGA bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm doing a whole pot on that, but there's no way he should be NGA over father-son.
Agreed. We'll expand on that.
And they change the rules all the time, and who's it affected? Us.
It has.
Melbourne was another one with Mac Andrew,
us with Riley Sanders,
yeah.
just for the listeners that might not be across it.
It just annoys me.
There's someone else. St Kilda, they got screwed as well with Cam McKenzie.
Yes.
Who probably end up there anyway.
Yes.
We'll keep flowing on the questions here. The George, Tom and Harry show says, who has the ruthless edge in this team? Port, Bombers, nearly Carlton and West Coast, Lions, Freo and now Saints. We should have had more goals in Q1 and Q4. I think he's talking about games that are in the... Well, yeah, we're just not getting enough from... I think we're not getting enough from our leaders and the senior experience, the Daniels that we've brought in. I think, to answer the question, you saw yesterday, I think it was the youngsters that were driving us for the comeback, which is a positive sign for the future, but it's a bit worrying that we're not seeing it. Although we talk about leaders and we... Like Cam Zerha, I think he's stood up this year.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
he's had his best year probably ever.
Yeah. So we're just not quite there yet. And it's really frustrating. And it's a bit of a cop-out answer, but it's how I think it's reality.
Well, it's frustrating the coach, clearly. You look at his presser.
Yeah.
Just his body language.
Playing with your hair, just
Yeah.
for those obviously listening that can't see what we're doing, but that's what he does, doesn't he? Puts his head down, scratches his head, goes, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're in that to 3/4 time.
They're a good side.
Yeah. Anyway, good on you, Clarko.
Shimmel Boner. Harvey and Powell looked decent in the last off halfback / behind the ball. And then he's put in brackets besides the fumble, which obviously the Cooper Harvey one.
Yes.
Both make decent decisions and use it well. Could this work? I've been big and on the Tom Powell off halfback. I love it. Keep him there. He played like 6 weeks there last year and was averaging 33 or something and using it well. So keep him there. We've got an abundance of mids.
Yep.
He's one who can use it and actually break lines. So keep him back there. Cooper Harvey, I still think he's a forward, but I like that they have that versatility that they can send Zane forward as a taller option. And they might have to do that more often now with Larkey being out for the remainder of the season.
Well, Larkey and PC out at this stage.
There's two of our top 3 goalkeepers.
We need someone who can take a mark. I mean, PC's your contested, use your body mark, and obviously Larkey's the key forward. But I think we'll save it for the preview pod who comes in, but we'll have a deeper analysis.
Well, Cooper Harvey will play deeper forward now. He's been playing higher up the ground because of PC and Zerha, but with PC out, we know he plays deeper. I think you'll see Harvey play that role.
Yep.
Definitely next week, anyway.
Now, there was a question there, this is putting you on the spot, about who would be in who would play in any other team from our team against the Saints. Can you bring that up on your phone?
Yes, I can.
Because I like that question. And it was basically, they excluded West Coast and Richmond. So have you got... Why are you bringing that up? I think
I've got it, yeah.
Okay, so read them out. Read the question out.
So he says, Nathan Granger it is, I'll give him a shout out. Can you go through our side versus the Saints and who would honestly get a game in any other side apart from Wet Toast and Richmond? Here's mine. He says, Colby, you just tell me if you disagree with any of these. Yeah. LDU, Suv, PC, Harry, Bull, Finn O'Sullivan, Stiffy Hardiman and Parker. Powell, Harvey, Chom, come on.
Yeah, Chom gets us. Chom at his best, not on last Sundays, yesterday's game.
I think he was. I gave him
too many free kicks. Too many free kicks, and he's not in control of the whistle. But I think a lot of them were there.
Powell,
Powell's debatable, but
Wardlaw, yes.
Wardlaw gets in.
Daniel and Logue, nah.
They don't all get in the same team, by the way. This is just if one of them went to another team, they'd get in.
Don't think Stevens does. Bench, nah. Teakle, no. Constanti, no. Pink, no. Hanson Jr., no.
I think Pink could.
We'd probably be...
I think he's... We'll talk to the other pod about who's improved this year. Did we mention Pink? Because he's been pretty good this year. He had a couple of weeks where we thought he signed the 2-year deal where he fell off a bit. But I think he's been good. And would he get in the Collingwood's backline at the moment?
Yeah, I was about to say that. If he would over Charlie Dean.
And I think he's our best at playing the assertive defence and being, having a man and also being assertive enough to intercept. And with Collingwood's pressure they put on the ball, yes, I think he'd get a game in Brisbane because of their injuries. Like, he would best available, he wouldn't be first pick, but he'd certainly be he'd be what are they called? A reserve player. A depth, thank you.
He'd be playing over Caminiti at St Kilda.
Yeah, so I think he would.
Yeah, okay. That's fair enough.
Yeah. So, is that it?
That's just about us done, I think. I will say that if you spend $15 on our merch, you get a free hat that fits kids and or women. So jump on that. But for the men, that's probably a touch small, especially for us. We got big noggins, so it doesn't fit us. But so that's the deal we're running at the moment. Craig Sparks, you've got until our preview pod to contact us to win the prize. Otherwise, we'll be redrawing. So thank you very much to everyone who subscribed. And I think about 70% of our listeners aren't subscribed. So
get on there.
If you have time, hit
more merch packs coming.
The subscribe or follow button, whatever platform you're on. And it's the best way to support the pod. Doesn't cost anything. And yeah, we really appreciate everyone. And it gets it out to more people, which is what we want.
Absolutely. All right. We enjoy talking about it, and we enjoy the listener interaction with the questions.
We love the boners.
Yes.
We need some more voice messages, boners. I like hearing your
I want to hear a long-time boner, first-time phoner.
Unless it's not your first time, like our man Stoney.
Yeah, then it'll be second time.
Yeah.
Well, short time. New boner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might get some new boners on. Anyway, enough waffle. Thanks for listening. Kangas.
Thanks, guys. We'll be back to preview the Giants game later in the week. Until next time, Gurus!
Good old North Melbourne, they're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team that plays to win for